So we're here with Kristen Riley, who is a member of our team, and she is going into her 8th year of real estate. And Kristen, tell us what you did prior to real estate and why you got into the business.
So prior to real estate, I was a dispatcher for Time Warner Cable, now known as Spectrum. I was there almost 13 years and decided to get my real estate license. My parents owned a title insurance company for 30 years. My grandmother was a real estate broker, so it kind of ran in the family. Ended up getting my license, turned out to be a good move for me because my job ended up getting relocated out to Rochester. So,
well, that was good timing, I guess. Or I actually remember back to when you called me and you'd said, "Hey, I'm thinking about getting my real estate license." Totally caught me off guard. But after thinking about it for a few seconds, I said, "Actually, I think you'd be very good, especially with the process of it." Because as I recall, when you were buying and selling your house, you were always like one step ahead of me. And every time I thought of something to kind of bring to you or tell you had to do, you were probably an hour before me with that phone call kind of asking about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that was kind of with my other job. I was very, proactive, ahead of things, good at multitasking. So a lot of those things came into play, dealing with customers. I had to deal with the techs out in the field. I had a vast knowledge of the capital region, which has kind of helped me with, pinpointing areas when people are looking for houses.
That's kind of goes hand in hand with being the local neighborhood expert,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
So let's see here. So you're almost a decade into your career. What are some of the changes to your business from when you first started?
So when I first started, I worked with, a lot of first-time buyers. Now a lot of those people have grown their families and are reaching out to me to sell their house, to buy bigger houses, and also the market just in general. The conversations are a lot different with buyers now that we're having versus back when I first started. A lot more dealing with running numbers on properties, the interest rates fluctuating, and there's just a lot more that goes into it, and more challenging deals. With the buy sell, there's a lot more involved in it than just a straightforward somebody coming out of a lease going into a new house. So
it's fair. Let's see here. One of the things that I think about when I think about your success in the business is I've been doing this 20 years, and I've never seen an agent do a better job dealing with the emotions, with handling buyers, just working through that process, being as patient as you are, and all that, the attributes that come with dealing with, handling buyer expectations. What advice do you have for the new agents out there, or for agents who are looking to provide better service to their clients? What would you tell them?
I think the biggest thing for me that I find with my buyers that's most helpful, aside from being a source of knowledge for them, because there's a lot of people don't realize how much goes into buying a house, just being there to listen to their concerns. A lot of my conversations with clients are just listening and hearing what they have to say and the things that they're worried about. And sometimes when people are buying a house, there's a lot of emotion that goes into it. Mm-hmm. And, I always say that real estate agents are also therapists, because people need somebody to vent to a lot of times, and I end up being that person. But, just being available for people, that's one of the challenging things about real estate is you're kind of, in a way, 24/7. You always have to be available for your clients. When you're not showing houses, you're working through transactions and inspection issues, and there's a lot of times when you just need to be there for your buyers.
What would you say is the best thing about being in real estate?
I think the best thing for me is the flexibility. Being able to kind of make your own schedule, not being 9 to 5, and having that that flexible aspect is a good thing for me, especially with my, having my son now who just turned 3, and he's in preschool part-time. So it kind of helps me to navigate my schedule a little better.
What would you say is the worst thing about being in real estate?
It's a lot of long days sometimes, a lot of nights, a lot of weekends. It's not for everybody. That somebody that just wants a day job, this isn't the job for you. I personally enjoy it, but it can be a lot of long hours.
What's the weirdest thing that's ever happened to you?
So I had a showing one time, and the guy was a little strange. And after the showing, he invited me to go to the orchestra with him after I had met him one time.
Hoity-toity.
Yeah.
If you weren't in real estate, what could you see yourself doing?
So I had thought about this before, and going back to the therapist type thing, I always kind of thought that would have been a good job for me. When I started at Time Warner, I was only 18. So at the time, I kind of just jumped into it and never really thought about doing anything else until obviously it came up that my job wasn't going to be there anymore. So if I hadn't gotten into real estate, I could see that being something that I would consider doing.
Cool. What is one thing that most people don't know about you?
So I have been a singer my whole life. My parents were both singers. My dad sang in a lot of theater stuff. My mom was in the Sweet Adelines that performed around at the Egg and that sort of thing. So I have a musical background. I've played in bands since I was a teenager, and it's always something that I've enjoyed doing.
So as we wrap up here, if you're looking for great representation or you just got questions on the market, hit Kristen Riley up here.
Yep, happy to help. 518-221-0267.